This is not just another self-help video. This is hours of research condensed in under 15 minutes, so you do not have to waste any more time second guessing. I will cover the only 4 things you need to completely transform your life in 6 months, but these are not just based on theory. They're backed by scientific evidence and real-world success stories, so you could truly come back unrecognizable. And now let's begin with the science behind starting. Now, before any change can actually happen, you need to understand the 3 things that are holding you back from starting. Number 1 is going to be procrastination, and this is when you put off important tasks because you just don't have the motivation to do it. I'm going to cover specific strategies to overcome and permanently defeat procrastination later in this video. Number 2 is the fear of failure. Now, this could be a fear of being judged by the people who are closest to you, or a fear of disappointing your future self. Regardless, this is a limited belief which you need to get rid of if you want to become the best version of yourself in 6 months. Number 3 is a lack of aim or clear purpose. If you don't know why you're doing something, you're going to default back to bad habits as soon as it gets tough. So I'm going to teach you how to create a real definitive plan that will completely change your life. But before you set any specific goals of things you want to accomplish, you need to figure out why you want to change at all. You can do this by writing down the top 3 things you hope to get from changing your behaviors. These can be anything as long as they're productive for you and your future and not self-destructive at all. And once you're done with that, you can cultivate the most necessary component to truly change yourself forever: the right mindset. And everything you need to finally overcome the burden of just starting is in this book, Make Your Bed by Navy SEAL Admiral McRaven. In this book, he talks about the 10 most important principles he learned during his time as a Navy SEAL, but there's 2 I really think you should take away if you want to get started today. Number 1 is making your bed. If you get up and make your bed every morning, you're going to get a small sense of pride from the accomplishment. And he literally says it right here. It's going to encourage you to do another task and another and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will turn to many tasks completed. So just by starting your day off on the right foot, he says there's a snowball effect of good things and good habits that are going to come from that. And the second most important lesson that he talks about in Make Your Bed is embracing failure, because growth is non-linear. Now, what I mean by that is growth is never just going to go in a straight perpendicular line. You're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to improve and then fall, and it's going to be a repetitive cycle of improvement and failing. But that's all part of the process to grow and learn and become better, more productive. But people often allow this to push them away from just starting. So if you're not starting because of a fear of failure or a fear of not becoming the person who you want to be, that is absolutely ridiculous, because to become the person you truly want to be, you need to fail. And just from 2 concepts I found inside of this book, you have the right mindset and the right purpose. So now you're going to be able to get started on any goal that you want to achieve to completely transform your life. And as promised, I'm going to share with you exactly how to overcome procrastination just through 3 key principles. And you guessed it, these 3 principles come from Atomic Habits by James Clear, who's a New York Times best-selling author, self-improvement, and productivity expert. After I read this book, they taught me everything I needed to know about how to overcome procrastination, how to beat self-doubt, and how to build better habits for life. But before I cover those principles, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps push my content to other people who are looking to improve. Okay, now welcome back. Let's get started on the first of the 3 principles: improving 1% every day. James Clear explains that if you just improve 1% every single day for 1 year, by the end of the year, you will be 37 times better. Now, a 1% improvement may seem stupid or small, but over the course of 1 year, 37 times better is absolutely unfathomable. So even though 1% seems insignificant, over the course of years, it's going to have a major impact on your outlook on life and your productivity. But this can also work in the reverse effect. If you just get 1% worse every year, you are going to be 37 times worse by the end of the year. I know I would not actively choose to get 37 times worse, but if you're choosing bad habits day in and day out, that's the choice you're making. So you need to focus on the trajectory of your progress. Make sure you're trending in an upwards linear path so you're constantly improving. You don't want to get caught on that side that's just constantly sloping down, because that's going to have a major impact on your future. So don't worry about the speed of improvement when it comes to chasing your goals. Just make sure you're on the right path towards whatever you want. Principle number 2 in Atomic Habits can best be described as 1 ice cube. Now, that sounds absolutely stupid, but it makes a lot of sense when it comes into the realm of unseen improvement. Oftentimes, people want the instant gratification of continuously improving on whatever task they're doing, but when you're improving 1% every day, it's going to be impossible to see that at first. So I like to refer to the analogy in this book about 1 single ice cube. Imagine you're sitting in a freezer set at 29 degrees Fahrenheit with an ice cube on the table. If you increase the degrees from 29 to 30, nothing's going to happen. The ice cube's still going to be sitting there. If you increase it from 30 to 31, the ice cube will still be sitting there. But as soon as you go from 31 to 32, the ice cube melts. So does that mean the 31 to 32 is the only jump that actually mattered? Or were all the rest building up to that point? Improvement in achieving your goals can seem the same exact way. There's a long curve of no improvement before a big spike of rapid growth. This is why so many people say, oh, that person is just an overnight success, because we don't see the work everyday people are putting into their grind and their passion projects. So just keep this in mind as you're trying to transform and change yourself over the course of the next 6 months. You may not see the improvement for the first 2, 3, or even 4, but once you hit that growth moment, all that previous work is going to be so worth it. And with that, we'll now move on to principle number 3, the power of systems. James Clear talks about how losers and winners both have the same goals. So what's the difference between people that achieve them and people that don't? Well, the people that don't achieve them just set their goals and maybe they looked at it every single week and constantly were reviewing it, but they didn't have any actual strategies in place to achieve them. So that's the difference between goals and systems. Goals are what you want to accomplish. Systems is how you're going to get there. So achieving your goals all comes down to the effective, repeatable systems that you have in place. And the only thing that's going to make a difference is your dedication to the process of following these systems. In Atomic Habits, he says you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So having the right systems in place will ensure you're able to achieve your goals whenever you feel like it. So just remember those 3 principles when you're struggling with procrastination or creating good habits. But now I'm going to share with you exactly how to maximize your time according to those 3 principles. These 2 strategies are going to follow those rules and allow you to work more efficiently. Number 1 is going to be the Pomodoro technique. Now this technique involves working for a set amount of time, usually 25 minutes, and then taking a 10-minute break. You set timers on your phone to strictly follow this rule, and then you do 3 to 5 cycles depending on how much work you have to get done. You can do things like play a quick game you like, text people back, call your grandma, whatever you want to do. Just allow your mind to rest and recover and refocus before you try to get back to working again. And the cyclical nature of the Pomodoro technique will allow you to work harder, more effectively, and efficiently towards whatever goal you're wanting to achieve. And now that you can focus on tasks, let's learn how to plan them out effectively using this second strategy. This is known as reverse time blocking, and you do this by getting a calendar and plotting out the easiest things you have to do throughout the day. And once you're done with the simple tasks, you progressively go through higher value tasks until you're completely finished with everything you want to do. This will allow you to see exactly how much time you have to devote towards whatever goals or tasks you want to get accomplished throughout the day. Because if you just allow your task to take up X amount of time, it may not be realistic for you to accomplish the things you still have to get done. But by planning the simple things you have to get done first, you know exactly how much time you have left. So there's no room for error or no room for you to be lazy. But there's still one more thing James Clear touches on in Atomic Habits, and I think it's going to be absolutely crucial for you to become the person you want to be forever. Probably the most important thing I learned from Atomic Habits is how habits shape our identities. And he talks about this through the 3 most common layers of habit change that the average person goes through. Layer 1 is outcomes. Now this is where most people find themselves. They set a goal and they plan to make $10,000, lose 40 pounds, or get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay, that last one might just be me, and I probably shouldn't have that habit in place, but it's just so natural for us to be goal-driven, and we want to figure out the specific outcomes that we want to achieve before we figure out how we're going to get there. Outcome-driven habits are very surface level and don't really have any structure to them. We just aimlessly meander through the different paths of life until we hopefully get to what we want. But the next layer is a big step in the right direction. Layer 2 is processes. Rather than planning for the outcome to just show up in front of your face, you take actionable steps and create a solution that will actually get you there. Like an overweight person who wants to lose 40 pounds over the next 30 weeks. They're going to plan out ways to lose about 1.25 pounds every single week. They may do this through diets, increasing their steps, increasing their workout levels, or anything else they find is a viable solution. Developing processes is not that hard. Just find things you can do every single day to continuously improve until you become the person that you want. But James Clear talks about how overweight people can still feel fat even after they lose all the weight. And that's because they did not fall into layer 3, which is identity first habit building. Now, identity first habit building is not focused on what you want to achieve or even how you're going to get there. Just focused on becoming the person who would accomplish that goal you dream. You're still taking actionable steps, but the goal has changed. It's no longer I'm going to lose weight, it's I'm going to become a fit person. And you also need to watch your self-talk when you're speaking about your goals. Tell me if you can find the difference in these 2 sentences. I'm the type of person who wants 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I am a YouTuber who creates great content for my audience. The difference between those 2 sentences may seem super minuscule and stupid, but by allowing myself to speak that I'm going to be a YouTuber who creates great great content, and not attaching my self-value or my worth to the fact that I have a million subscribers will make all the difference when it comes to building these new habits and shaping my identity. Because even if I get to a million subscribers, but I don't truly believe I'm making great content that's changing and helping people's lives, I'm gonna feel unfulfilled, and I'm still gonna feel like a small YouTuber who just wants a bigger number. James Clear says allowing any negative thoughts to enter your mind is detrimental to your success because your mind will believe whatever is spoken. That's why something as simple as writing down your goals increases your likelihood to achieve them by 47%. Your mind attaches itself to those goals and it wants to achieve them so badly that you gradually become the kind of person who would. Every day when you take a new step, you keep in perspective of the person you want to become. So you think, what would a person who has a million subscribers do? What would a fit person do? And if you keep that in mind and you continuously take steps that kind of person would do, eventually you're just going to become that person. And after I read that chapter, all I was wondering is how else can I become the person who's going to achieve those goals? And James Clear had the answer ready for me right away. The repetition of small habits reinforces the belief of who we are. If you're someone who makes healthy choices all day, you're going to feel like a fit person. If you're the kind of person who makes choices in best aligned with your content creation goals, you're going to feel like a great content creator. Generally, we start to believe what we're doing. So if you continuously do things that are in line with the goals and the person you want to become, you're going to become that person. So I have 2 simple steps for you to follow to become the kind of person who you want to be forever. Number 1, write down exactly who you want to be to every last detail. I want you to include everything about your future life that you desire and anything you could possibly think of. Number 2, I don't want you to tell anyone about it. I want you to prove it to yourself through consistent small actions every single day and let the work speak for itself. Once you use all the information and follow all the steps I've shared with you in this video, your transformation will be well on its way. But I didn't cover everything school didn't teach you about money. And if you want to become financially free and break out of the poverty cycle, you should probably go watch that now.